Okay, well, what a fantastic second semi-final there. Johan Medart, he obviously from last year, he was third in the championship. This year, of course, he wants to go a couple better and be first. Last year's British champion, Ruben Boutens, you know, he had to beat him in a straight fight there and bundled the reigning champion down second. So he's done everything he needs. We're looking now at the final semi-final. There are 3 semi-finals. It's the third one coming up. And if I look out the window here, we can see some real heavy hitters out there. I see Lewis Manley, Zuzki's down there, Guillermo van Pamelen. We saw Ed White is in this one. And just looking across, Verhoeven is there, Sam Spinell is in this one. There's some real heavy hitters, and it's going to be a race to remember. Brad Philpott is down there in the 14. Sorry, not in the 14, he's the one in front of the 14. There is Brad Philpott. Guillermo van Pamelen is in the 14 by the looks of it. It's Brad Philpott there, ahead of Van Pamelen in the 15. And there is Ed White. Ed White is often touted the main British hope. He's the one most feared by his contemporaries. Ed White there, he's making some sort of gesture there, goodness knows. Sam Spinell has got his head down, looks like he's praying. There's Verhoeven in front of him with the predominantly yellow and blue helmet, and we'll call the rest as we go out on the qualifying lap. So Sam Spinell, he made his way through the semi-finals last year just into the final, so a great show by final to get to the final when the pressure was on by Spinell. Can he do the same this year? Verhoeven there in the blue. And there's Michael Weddel, actually. Michael Weddel up, he's the one talking to those behind. There's Alex Van Gien there, we can see. Alex Van Gien is on the sidelines, well, showing something, talking about something to, yeah, there's Mays. And Alex Van Gien, we regularly see in action in the BRKC. This is about the first time he's not been taking part since the championship began. Alex Van Gien, one of the most common competitors, the most regular competitors. He's there in the green jacket and really urging on Michael Weddel. Michael Weddel has also been around a long time, and seriously support from Alex Van Gien. And as we look on, there's Van Gien going to take a picture, I'm sure, of Weddel in the semi-final. That'll be all about Weddel. Okay then, so Spanners, it's
hello.
It's a bit tough now, isn't it?
Well, it is for me. I have to keep running up and down and talking to people. You're here in the warm. It is cold down there, by the way.
Absolutely, that's why I'm staying here in the warm.
You look at Van Gien taking a side roll, eh? Why isn't he here? Why isn't he on track?
For the first time since it began, Alex Van Gien is not in the BRKC. Now, they're going to be heading out to start the qualifying. Major competitors here, of course, because it's a semi-final. But this time we're going to see the likes of Lewis Manley, series organiser Brad Philpott, Ed White and such are in this one. Sam Spinell, of course. Verhoeven is in there. Wojciech Gerber. In fact, I think both Gerber brothers will be in this one. I think they both made it in Gerber brothers. And so Wojciech Gerber, Michael Weddel, Verhoeven, Spinell, White, Philpott, Van Pamelen, Lewis Manley, Zuzki is in this one too, and Michael Gerber. So the two brothers Gerber are both facing each other down in the same semi-final. It's the right to continue scoring, so they both might make it through, and we'll see what happens. So the first Gerber comes through. Gerber first and last in the lineup. There's Michael Weddel starting to qualify. Verhoeven starts as well. Sam Spinell goes through. Ed White, Brad Philpott, they're all going through to start the times. And Van Pamelen there. Lewis Manley, one of the great hopes for the championship. Zuzki, a debutant who's made his way into the semi-final, and the second of the Gerbs is through now to qualify. So these are the laps that count. So coming through to complete his qualifier is one of the Gerbs. It's Wojciech Gerber on the pole. He's still on pole after Michael Weddel qualifies. Gerber's been beaten by Spinell. Spinell is fastest. Ed White is fastest. Philpott is third. Ed White is still fastest. Van Pamelen fourth. Manley fifth. And Zuzki's ninth. Oh. And Michael Gerber is the final qualifier, and he's up to third. Michael Gerber up to third. Ed White is fastest from Spinell, and Michael Gerber. So Michael Gerber, an impressive showing by him. Michael Gerber, of course, is 4 times Polish champion and was a finalist in the World Championships last year. So Michael Gerber, theoretically, should be no surprise he's up there, but he is making his BRKC debut, Spanners.
Yes, very impressive by both those guys. Also, a word on Bradley Philpott. event organiser. Surprisingly, he's only scraped into the semi-finals, I think, in 27th, but he has had some rotten luck. So I'm hoping for that to turn around. He had his engine cut out on him in the pit stops. A couple of guys have suffered that.
He had to take a spare car.
Yeah, and he had to take a spare car and start last as well. So he's in the semi-finals. Getting to the finals will be tough from here, but I think a good race result for him to finish on, and that'll lift the spirits.
Well, Spanners, he's got to take some inspiration from someone else who's also in this race, Sam Spinell, because it was a fairly similar thing last year with Sam Spinell. Sam Spinell scraped the semis, but did so well that he managed to push himself forward into the final. So,
look, there's a deal. There's a deal going on between Gerb and Philpott.
It's a Gerb. Yeah, it's one of the Gerbs. It's Michael Gerb, and Philpott is really insistent.
He's saying no.
Yeah, I think he's saying, mate, I'm not going to fight you. Let's just run and see what happens for a bit.
No, I don't think that's what it was. I think he was saying, I'm not working with you. It was a no, I'm not working with you.
Well, we're about to find out, aren't we? So Philpott makes some massive lunge on the opening lap.
Well, no.
That was a, mate, I'm going to go for it.
But Van Pamelin behind him, in the last race, Van Pamelin made a great move on him through that very tight section on the alternate layout.
Absolutely. Here's Ed White to lead the start. So Ed White goes for it now. We're race on, and the lights are green. Ed White takes the start there from Spinell and Gerb. Philpott fourth.
Well, we're holding our breath as they come through the snail section. Generally, everybody's been pretty well behaved on the opening lap. Manley looked like he was thinking about making a move, but he's gone in behind Weddel, and he'll have to be patient now as he comes under pressure from behind.
Has Manley actually lost the place?
I don't think so.
He's dropping back. It's not the Manley we used to.
If he did, then I missed that, but the current situation is that he is... Oh, I said Weddel, didn't I? That was completely wrong. He's behind Van Pamelin.
Yeah, Van Pamelin is the one he's behind, but it's an increasing gap there, and Lewis Manley is under massive pressure.
Now Manley's lost a place.
Gerb,
yes.
The second of the Gerb brothers, the Polish gearbox champion, has gone ahead of Lewis Manley. He's definitely lost a place now, and that's bundled Lewis down to 7th place. Now, could this be bad enough that he doesn't make the final? That's a serious risk now, Spanners.
No, I didn't think of that. I did not consider that. So he's got to really just hang in there now. There's no real option to come and get another car. There'd be no point in doing that. He is pitting. He is pitting. Okay, it's just a regular pit stop though. So it might be one of those things. He's been muscled out of a place. He just needs to settle down and get himself some clear air.
Yeah, he's going to be running on his own, and all it is now is fast laps. He's just going to have to assume he's back at Formula Fast on a regular club night, banging in fast laps. So that will be Lewis Manley's aim. Meantime, Ed White in front has got Sam Spinell trying to chase him down. Michael Gerb is behind him, and Brad Philpott has the attention of Guillermo Van Pamelin crossing the line.
I think Philpott will be aware that Van Pamelin has gone past him on track before. There is a pit stop now as well. That is number 9.
Yeah, that's it. It's Adrian Suzuki, a late entry, and he comes out behind Manley. And in fact, he's way further back than Manley than he was before. So this is working well for Manley from what we can see at the moment.
I think maybe as Manley said, you know, the racing, there's some real good guys there, but he knows that himself, on his own, round Formula Fast, Milton Keynes, he backs himself against anyone.
And he's backing himself now with an early pit stop. It's like a club night. He's just cracking in those laps. Now, who is fastest of all at the moment? A new race record for this event, or not this event, this actual race, is Sam Spinell, who's running second. It was Gerb in third. That would be the Michael Gerb of the Gerb brothers, but it's now gone to Sam Spinell. Ed White continues to lead the way. He has the race fastest lap holder of Sam Spinell on his case, though, as they cross the line. There's Michael Gerb, the former fast lap holder, and in fact Ed White is the new record lap holder for this race, and he's the first one to dip under 32 seconds, 31.9.
And let's see, and it is the Scottish Michael Weddel who is currently in 7th place. If he can make up a few places, he'll be the British Michael Weddel.
Yeah, get him in the top half of that one's banners and we'll make him British. So he of course is the reigning Scottish mini champion.
Not arguing about that again.
So Ed White, currently fastest on track, currently leading the way. And he's lost that fastest lap situation to Sam Spinell. Sam Spinell is now the quickest on the track. Sam Spinell second. Gerber is still not being left behind, and Philpott nor in fourth. But Van Pamelin is getting increasingly racy with Brad Philpott. Not to the point where Philpott has to go defensive yet. I'd say any of these top 5 are still technically in this race at the moment. But Pamelin's got to be thinking that White is starting to stretch ahead of him. It's you know, the best part of 3 seconds now up the road from Van Pamelin to Ed White. Yeah, 2.6 last time over the line, so we'll see what happens here. Have we got someone in the pits? No, we haven't. And this time it's 2.7. So Ed White takes a tenth of a second lead up on Van Pamelen, running 5th. So he is stretching the lead, but I'm sure he'd like to see it even more comfortable than that. It is Sam Spinelli who's keeping him honest. It is Sam Spinelli who's still fastest on the track. Lewis Manley, let's keep a little look at his times. He's probably, well, he's about 4th fastest at the moment. But Lewis Manley, he's trying to make it work from the back there. We'll see what happens when they cycle through the pit stops. He needs to be a bit faster, though, does Lewis Manley, if he's going to try and challenge the leaders after the pit stops, which is why he stopped early.
So that's the top 5. Looking back to 6, 7 and 8, you've got Gerb. Is that how I was saying it?
Gerb,
yeah, Gerb, Weddel and Verhoeven. So Weddel's
a bit of a Gerb, remember he's Polish.
Gerb, that's right, Gerb. I think Weddel is keeping that gap honest to Gerb, and I think he's got half an eye on making a move at some point. He's certainly not out of it.
And we've got a couple of Gerbs going on here. We've got the brothers Gerb. We've got Michael Gerb, who is 4 times Polish champion, and Wojciech Gerb, who is Polish gearbox car champion. And Michael Gerb is the one running 3rd, both making their BRKC debut. And Wojciech Gerb at the moment is listed in 6th place. That means he's behind Van Pamelen.
Are you worried about the gap from the higher placed Gerb to Philpott starting to open up between 3rd and 4th? Yeah,
Philpott's still in serious visual contact with the higher of the Gerbs, but you know, he's going to. Yeah, he can't really afford to see that Gerb get smaller, can he?
We have someone in the pits. That is Weddel, who's come out of that battle between the lower Gerb and Verhoeven. So let's have a look at his pit stop. Yeah, so he's now trying to get back. He won't get out in front of Lewis Manley, but he's certainly got a nice marker of Lewis Manley in front of him, because Lewis Manley probably knows the right way to turn around this track.
And at the moment, this is working exactly to plan for Lewis Manley. As anybody in front of him stops, Lewis Manley comes out ahead. So at the moment, every time there's a stop, now there's a wave there to somebody. Who was that? I think, well, couldn't quite see that. But somebody was getting a signal from somebody else. And
Gerb's in, one of them. Gerb. It was the one that was fighting with Weddel. So let's see if Weddel's done enough. I think Gerb is going to come out in front of Weddel. So that's as they were, with Verhoeven still to pit, and to see if Verhoeven will slot in behind them. If Verhoeven comes out behind Weddel, then that is as they were for 6th, 7th and 8th.
And it's still continuing to work for plan for one of the main British hopes, Lewis Manley. Lewis Manley has made that early stop, one of the first stops, and every time someone has pitted in front of him, he has ended up coming out behind Lewis Manley. So Lewis Manley now to 7th place, moving up the order as drivers stop in front of him. At the moment, it looks like certainly Verhoeven, if Verhoeven stopped, he'd be behind Manley, but it could get a bit cagey when we get to the likes of Van Pamelen, Philpott, the faster Gerb and Spinelli.
So he pitted from behind Van Pamelen, and Van Pamelen is currently just about 11 seconds, just shy of 11 seconds ahead.
That's it. We're looking at Lewis Manley, one of the local aces. Lewis Manley, a challenger for the championship over a number of years, always a factor for race wins around here. It is his local track. He would be what the fabled Anwar Brulsmith would certainly class as a local bandit. And they don't get more local and they don't get more banditish than Lewis Manley, who is an absolute circuit specialist and showing it, because every time someone pits in front of him, Lewis Manley takes them on the effective undercut. Early stop for him, and it's working, and that's why he made that early pit stop. Ed White continues to lead, but it's less than a second to Spinelli. Michael Gerb, the faster of the 2 Gerbs, is now fastest on the track overall. He's 3rd place, ahead of Brad Philpott, series organiser.
And Philpott's kept a decent gap to Van Pamelen. He'll be pretty pleased with that, because I think people watching might have expected Van Pamelen to close that gap, but Van Pamelen is now 3.3 seconds behind the overall lead of Ed White, and it's not as if he's being held up by Philpott at all.
No, in fact, quite the reverse. Philpott had Van Pamelen a lot closer to him earlier on. The former, well, last year's junior champion is European junior champion is Guillermo Van Pamelen. And Van Pamelen is actually dropping away ever so slightly from Brad Philpott. It's almost up to a second there, the gap. 4th Philpott, 5th Van Pamelen.
You keep saying Philpott event organiser. We should also say, you know, VLN class champion this
Absolutely.
year.
I mean, he's got so much to put his helmet to. Certainly Philpott at Nürburgring won his class in the BLN Championship this year. A spectacular driver. He's also been racing the Kart World Championship a number of times. He really is a class act, is Brad Philpott. There he is on screen now. As I say, well, you pointed out as well, class champion at Nürburgring in the BLN series with the Net Motorsport team. A great team to run for. Former Peugeot factory driver, of course, as well.
And big things to come next season, so I'm told, but he won't quite tell me what. However, Spinell is under pressure from Gerb the Greater.
So, yeah, as Gerb moved in a bit, yes, Gerb is now only 0.3 of a second behind Spinell. In the pits, though, that's Van Pamelen.
It's an interesting pit stop. Perhaps he's just had someone point a gap out to him, and hopefully he's going to come for him. He's going to come out in front of Lewis Manley. So that is as they were before Manley pitted, and with a similar kind of gap, to be honest.
A sub-10-second pit stop for Guillermo Van Pamelen. One of the most incredible stops we've seen all weekend. Van Pamelen, in his pursuit of Philpott, has really thrown the gauntlet down to Brad Philpott, and whatever success Brad Philpott's had over the years, he's going to have to throw it forward now. This is going to have to be the pit stop of the century from Philpott, because Van Pamelen was sub-10 seconds on the stop there. So an incredible showing by the current European Junior champion, Guillermo Van Pamelen. And we're looking at Sam Spinell now. Sam Spinell, fastest on the track, would you believe, is Lewis Manley. So Lewis Manley, he's not been able to leapfrog Van Pamelen, but he's on the case of Van Pamelen. And Spinell, as you pointed out, Spanners has Gerb behind him, behind him.
Gerb the Greater has pitted to take the pressure off Spinell. I think he must feel that Spinell was holding him up. So there he's gone for that pit stop now, and it looks clean, and he's going to come out ahead of Van Pamelen.
He's lost to Verhoeven though, although Verhoeven is yet to pit.
He is yet.
Luckily, there's enough gap that Verhoeven's not going to be a factor should Gerb...
No, Verhoeven's going to come in behind Weddel, if anything.
Yeah, and Verhoeven certainly is fast enough to stay clear of Gerb. Gerb is not close enough to actually, have any problem with Verhoeven with 9 minutes remaining. He's still out the lead, non-stopping. Sam Spinell second, non-stop. Philpott third, non-stop. Verhoeven fourth, non-stop. And then Michael Gerb leads the stoppers. Everyone behind Gerb has stopped. That's Gerb, Van Pamelen, Manley, Gerb, this lesser, Weddel and Zajewski.
I like that you've adopted my Gerb nomenclature. But it could be good news for Bradley Philpott here, because his main threat for fourth place was Van Pamelen. If he's coming under pressure from Lewis Manley on track, they start taking time out of each other. That should make Philpott's pit stop more comfortable and let him come back out in his fourth place.
Lewis Manley there, running 7th place, is still the fastest on the track. He still holds the race record for this race, this semi-final. Obviously, Philpott will be mindful of Van Pamelen. Van Pamelen, if we have a look at this, is lapping about the same as Philpott, really. Philpott's ever so slightly faster, perhaps, but ever so slight is the word. We're looking at Lewis Manley, the fastest on the track as we speak. He holds the fastest lap for this race. That's him following Guillermo Van Pamelen. In fact, is he closing in on Van Pamelen?
Yes, Lewis Manley is definitely closing in on Van Pamelen, yes.
Absolutely, Van Pamelen is setting some rapid times, but Lewis Manley is fractionally faster overall, and he is closing in on the young Dutchman there, as Guillermo Van Pamelen round the snail, and that's Lewis Manley in the red suit behind him. So Guillermo Van Pamelen coming under increasing pressure from Lewis Manley. Early stop to try and pull himself ahead. Van Pamelen is the only one who's been able to come out of the pits ahead of Manley, but it's only just ahead, and Lewis Manley is closing him down. Manley clearly means business. Look at him go there, Spanners. What can you say about that?
Well, you can say that Van Pamelen's not going to give that place up easily, and Lewis Manley could get frustrated here. He's probably still guaranteed a place in the final, even if it stays as it is, because that's a 6th place finish, and he was quite high in the points table, I believe the overall points leader.
Yeah, well, he's going to leapfrog Verhoeven, who's the last of the non-stoppers, shall we say, in 4th place. But I don't think he's going to get any higher. Now, he's got Van Pamelen ahead, which means Van Pamelen would go 4th and Manley would go 5th. Manley could probably do with the extra points in 4th, so Lewis Manley will probably be actually intending to go for Van Pamelen if he can. I mean, it's obvious he's a racer, he's going to try and do it. He's closing in on Van Pamelen, and if he can pass Van Pamelen, I'm sure he will. He won't want to sit there. He'll want to sort of just nab those extra points, I'm sure, if possible, because at this stage, every point's going to count. 30 drivers start the semi-finals, only 10 are going to go through to the final, so it really is going to be quite important, I believe.
Yeah, but you don't want to end up like Verana and Powell, who were facing sideways through the snail section. There is that as well. At this point, if you've got your place in the final booked, that one extra place might not be worth a lunge that's going to put you in the barrier.
Well, that's what I'm worried about with Lewis Manley. We don't quite have the points up in front of us here, so I'm not quite sure how that would work out. And my fear is Lewis may just miss out the final should he actually end up with a 5th place score rather than a 4th. It might be enough to make a difference. He's got to be on the bubble, surely.
Now, I might be wrong, but I think he is net 6th at the moment, with only Verhoeven to go behind him. I think it's only Verhoeven to pit, is it? And when Philpott pits, he's got big enough gap.
Yes, of course, because we're talking. We've forgotten Gerb the Greater, haven't we?
Yeah.
So Gerb the Greater, that's Michael Gerb, 4 times Polish kart champion, who is currently listed in 5th, and he has stopped. So yeah, this could be getting a little bit marginal for Lewis Manley, because as I say, 30 drivers have gone into the semi-final, and only 10 will go into the final. So Lewis Manley, those with access to the screens will be able to look at that and clearly see whether Lewis Manley could make enough points up. I'm sure he's going to be worried. At the moment, Lewis Manley has made even bigger inroads to Van Pamelen. Van Pamelen, the reigning European Junior Champion. Manley is, well, it's very close, but ever so slightly faster. Ed White is now the fastest on the track as we speak. 31.7 is just a blistering pace. All the top 7 are in 31 seconds now, and this is the fastest overall race pace we've seen at the whole weekend. This is getting really super serious now, Spanners.
Okay, if we're playing armchair managers, I think you would want to see Philpott come in now, solidify that track position over Van Pamelen now before anything has a chance to go wrong. Yeah,
Philpott would certainly come out behind Michael Gerb the Greater, but definitely ahead of Van Pamelen, but it would still be a bit marginal. I think Philpott's stop would have to be good, but he certainly could not risk a bad pit stop. He certainly could not, take any chances that many had to do it again.
It's 12 seconds, so I think he'd be okay.
He would be, but, Van Pamelen is very fast. Yeah, by definition, a good stop. We can reckon on Philpott making a 10 or 11 second stop, to be honest. So, yeah, it would be a second to the good of Van Pamelen, but it would still be looking very close. Philpott continues on the track, though. There he is, just going out of view on the screen. There he is on screen. This is Brad Philpott, reigning class champion in the VLN series around Nürburgring, and really tough thing to win that is. So great run there by Brad Philpott.
And remember, we are contractually obliged to say that his pit stop was perfect, so remember that when we commentate on it.
It was epic.
It have been epic.
Yeah, so Brad Philpott, who will be making an epic pit stop, continues round. Will it be this like these stops though? No, it's not. He continues on. Now he does have Sam Spinell in his sights. Philpott's running very fast. Now it is Ed White who is leading the way with the best lap time, but Philpott is right up there. In fact, I think Philpott is setting the 4th fastest lap in the race. Second fastest is Lewis.
So Brad's lost time to Ed overall for the lead, although he has kept in touch with Spinell.
Absolutely. Brad Philpott at the moment is doing enough to stay in front of Van Pamelen. We are talking a 12-second gap exactly between Philpott and Van Pamelen, and that's going to be crucial now, because in these late stages, Philpott can't do with falling behind Van Pamelen. If he falls behind Van Pamelen, there's a good chance he's going to fall behind Lewis Manley as well, because he won't have momentum coming out of pits, and they'll just drive around the outside of it. It's as simple as that, and there won't be anything you can do about it. So, Philpott is now 10 seconds to the good of Gerb the Greater. So Philpott, with a brilliant stop, could actually leapfrog Gerb.
So I've been a terrible manager here, tried advising him to come in. I'd have lost him track position.
Spinell in the pits. Sam Spinell is in the pits. Sam to 2nd place.
Now then, he could come out in front of Gerb the Greater, couldn't he? And that would... Oh, no, he's...
He certainly could. He was an 11-second stop, though, by Spinell, so I don't think it was the best. He's come out behind Gerb the Greater. They're in the Snell section now out the window. We're looking at Brad Philpott there, but I can tell those of you watching at home that we're looking at Brad Philpott, but Sam Spinell has come out behind Gerb, and Philpott's in. Brad Philpott is in. This is crucial.
Race leader Ed White is in as well, so Ed White, he gets a green stop. Brad Philpott has made a perfect stop at the first sense of sensors, and let's see, also 16 is in as well, so Verhoeven also in the pits. Now Bradley Philpott has come out ahead of Van Pamelen, comfortably by some distance, but he's still behind Gerb the Greater and Spinell.
It's not by much though, it must be very close, and in fact it is if, you know, I think we're just going to have to go on what it looks like here. We've got Ed White in the lead, he's coming down the back straight, it's a seriously close up because there is Gerb the Greater, there is Spinell, there is Philpott, there is Van Pamelen, and Lewis Manley challenging Van Pamelen down the straight. It's very close, first six, and Van Pamelen hit the wall. No, he's just stayed ahead of Lewis Manley turned to the right, but nothing going there.
Right, now Lewis Manley's closer than he's been to Van Pamelen all race long, and he is now actively swarming all over the back of him, looking for little inroads, and Van Pamelen has gone very defensive through the hairpin at the end of the snail section, so this is going to be the one to watch now. Lewis Manley in the red race suit, chasing down Van Pamelen in the orange helmet down the back straight.
And, you know, somebody needs to do the maths here, because will Lewis Manley find himself out of the final if he stays where he is? He's battling, he nudged Van Pamelen there, well, he couldn't help it, but he is in 6th place. This is crucial. This is nearly the end of the race. The check has been thrown. It's Ed White who's won from Gerb the Greater, Sam Spinell, Brad Philpott, Van Pamelen, Manley, Verhoeven, Weddel, Gerb the Minus, and Zajewski has come in last there, but there is the race winner. It is Ed White, getting so excited there we almost missed the flag, but the key thing is Ed White has booked himself a place in the final, and he potentially is one of the greatest British hopes of all time. And Ed White comes down the pit lane now with as much relief as satisfaction over a win. Michael Gerb, 4 times Polish champion, has come through in 2nd. Sam Spinell, we're looking at his 3rd. Surely a finalist. There's Gerb who came in 2nd. There's Brad Philpott 4th. We're going to have to double check and see if he has scored enough to make the final. What is going on behind with Lewis Manley? We're really not sure where the points are at the moment. I'll let you know as soon as possible. He may well be out of the championship. Van Pamelen is in 5th. He's another one at risk as well. Christoph Verhoeven in 7th place. Michael Weddel 8th. Wojciech Gerb, Polish gearbox champion, is 9th, and Adrian Zajewski, who came in as a last-minute replacement, is 10th. His championship is going to be done there with the 10th place finish, but what a showing by Adrian Zajewski, last-minute replacement, and into the semi-finals he went. So what an incredible set of semi-finals. We're going to have a bit of a gap now, and then something a little bit different, because the final is going to involve a single kart qualifying session. Every kart.
I'm in the pits here with Ed White. A good race win. We think that's enough for you to get in the final, but in any case, you've stamped your mark on this tournament like you did last year.
Yeah, I needed that. Yeah, start the race, I was trying to get a bit of a gap from Sam so I could, you know, start attacking and get away from them. Yeah, managed to get the gap, and yeah, easy from there. Good.
And when you came into the pits, though, then you had suddenly Bradley Philpott suddenly appear behind you. It was all very cluttered. Were you very confident that you had the race win?
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on the times. I think I had a 13-second gap to the guy in 2nd. So yeah, I was pretty comfortable.
And if you're in the final, you're going for 1st place, obviously.
Absolutely.
Good luck, Ed White. Thank you very much. Great race win. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to try and grab a word with event organiser Bradley Philpott. Bradley Philpott was, of course, involved in a battle with Sam Spinell there. So obviously you're talking to Sam. It looked like you might be able to hunt him down at one point.
I wasn't really thinking about that, if I'm honest. I was just thinking about trying to stay as close to the top guys as possible to fight off the really quick guys I knew who were behind me.
So you were just out of sync with Van Pamelen as well, so staying in front of him was a big priority.
Yeah, exactly. I was just not quite quick enough to hang with the top 2 or 3. But I was in a kind of little bit of no man's land in the middle, and I wanted to maintain that, because 4th in a semi-final is probably my best semi in a long time. So,
and because I think you qualified like 27th, so probably not enough for a final this year. But the event overall, how have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been great. I think it's the best one so far. Certainly the highest level of driving competition.
It gets harder and harder, and you're not getting any younger, are you, Brad?
No, exactly. I'll be in the Masters in 7 years, so a few more years to fight just for the overall competition. But I'm now going to look forward to watching the final from the balcony.
And I think I speak for everybody here when we say, Brad Philpott, thanks very much for organising this great event year after year. A great guy, a great organiser and a great racer. We now have the final to look forward to. Stay tuned right here.
Okay then, and so that concludes the semi-finals. We're going to run through the scores and see who's made the final. If you're watching on the live stream, we're going to be off for a few minutes. We believe that the actions for the final are going to get underway something like around about 7:20. So going to be off for about half an hour. Rejoin us for the grand final. Remember, these guys are fighting for the British Championship and £1,000. This is the most profitable racing potentially in all of British motorsport, because it hasn't cost much to enter and they're racing for £1,000 cash. So we'll see exactly who's in the final. We've got some ideas of who that'll be. We're going to just double check the scores and we'll be back with you in about half an hour's time.